Have you ever wondered if there's a vision for the future so powerful it could actually end war forever? Well, today we're diving into an ancient prophecy that imagines just that. But this isn't just about some far-off utopia. It forces us to ask some really tough questions about how we live our lives right here and right now.
So this huge question, it actually comes from a prophecy that's about 2,800 years old, from the prophet Isaiah. He described a vision so radical, so completely world-changing, that it's still challenging us today. So let's get into it. What exactly did he see, and, what's the takeaway for us?
Okay, so the core of Isaiah's prophecy is one of the most powerful images of peace you'll ever encounter. Seriously, it's this idea of a complete, total reversal of human priorities, one that basically turns our world upside down.
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. Isaiah is imagining a future where humanity takes the very tools of death and destruction and literally reforges them into tools that create and sustain life. Swords become plowshares for tilling the soil. Spears become sickles for harvesting food. We're not just talking about a ceasefire here. We're talking about erasing the very concept of war from our minds.
And this, right here, is the blueprint for that shift. It's a total transformation of society. Nations stop their war games. They stop training soldiers, and instead they pour all that energy into learning a different way to live, one that's based on divine wisdom. Just imagine for a second. All the money, all the resources we pour into weapons. What if all of that went into feeding people instead?
So, how is this all supposed to happen? Isaiah sees this great pilgrimage, but this isn't an invasion. It's a voluntary gathering of every nation on earth, all heading to the same place. And they're not looking for power, they're looking for wisdom. God becomes the ultimate referee, settling disputes fairly. And because of that, the peace that follows isn't just a temporary truce, it's real, and it's built to last.
Now, this vision isn't just some abstract idea floating in the clouds. The prophecy grounds it in a very specific, real-world place. It tells us where this universal gathering is meant to happen: Jerusalem.
And here's where it gets kind of wild. For a city that's destined to be the center of world peace, its history has been anything but peaceful. It's been conquered, destroyed, and rebuilt over and over again. And yet, through all that chaos, it has always remained this powerful symbol of hope and divine promise.
And this is where it gets even deeper. The city's name, Jerusalem, actually contains the Hebrew word for peace, shalom. But shalom is so much more than just, no more fighting. It's this incredible concept of wholeness, prosperity, complete well-being for everyone and everything. It's pretty much the ultimate goal for humanity.
So you see, Jerusalem becomes more than just a pin on a map. It's the symbolic ground zero, right? The physical spot where heaven and earth, where the divine plan and our messy human story are all meant to finally click into place.
Okay, so we have this beautiful vision of the future, right? But, and this is a huge but, it is not an invitation to just kick back and wait for it to happen. Fast forward a few centuries, and another voice picks up this theme but cranks the urgency way, way up.
That voice is the Apostle Paul writing to the community in Rome. And he is not talking about some distant, maybe one-day future. He's talking about right now. He's basically shouting from the rooftops that time has come to wake up because the salvation you've been hoping for is closer now than it has ever been. The time for hitting the snooze button is over.
And his big metaphor here is night versus day. It's super simple, but really powerful. The night is the old way of life, what he calls the works of darkness. Think rivalry, jealousy, that kind of stuff. But he says, the day is dawning, a new light is coming, and we have to dress for the occasion by putting on the armor of light.
And a lot of scholars think Paul is talking about something very specific and physical here, the ritual of baptism. It's an action that shows this huge spiritual change. You literally take off your old clothes, rejecting that old life. You're immersed in the water. And then you come out and put on something new, a white garment, symbolizing this new life, this new armor of light.
Okay, so this raises a huge question, right? If this new day is on its way, but we have no idea when it's going to get here, how are we supposed to live in the meantime? Well, another passage gives us a pretty big clue.
So in the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus brings up the story of Noah. Now listen, the point here isn't to scare us about a flood. The real warning is about how oblivious everyone was. They were just living their lives, eating, drinking, getting married, totally zoned out to the much bigger reality that was about to unfold. The warning is against being spiritually asleep at the wheel.
And to really drive this home, Jesus gives this super stark image.
He describes two people just doing their jobs, working side by side. To anyone watching, they'd look exactly the same, but they're not.
One is taken, and one is left. Now, the original text makes it clear this isn't about some random divine lottery. The word used here implies a sorting, a separation that's based on your internal state of readiness. The question is, are you awake to what God is doing in the world, or are you asleep?
And who is this person coming to do the sorting? Jesus calls himself the Son of Man. But what's really cool is where that title comes from. In the book of Daniel, it didn't just refer to one single Messiah figure. It had a collective meaning. It could represent the entire community of the faithful, the people of the saints, who'd inherit this new world together.
So, when you put it all together, the message is clear. Stop looking at your calendar. Stop trying to predict the date. The real work isn't about knowing when, it's about changing how you are, right now, in this moment. It's about cultivating a state of constant spiritual readiness.
All right, let's pull all these threads together. We've got this amazing vision of universal peace from Isaiah, we've got Paul's urgent wake-up call, and we have Jesus' command to stay alert. So what's the bottom line here?
The big takeaway is that this kind of hope is an action verb. It's not passive. Isaiah's vision isn't a prediction we just wait for. It's a promise that demands we participate. Being vigilant doesn't mean just watching the sky. It means getting your hands dirty building that world of peace. And this coming isn't a single event in the future. It's an ongoing process that we are a part of every single day.
There's this incredible quote from the philosopher Teilhard de Chardin that just captures this perfectly. He suggests this grand cosmic project is still unfolding, that Christ, in a way, is still being formed, and that we, the faithful, are the ones weaving this new reality with our actions of love. It's like we're all participants in the act of creation.
And that leaves us with this final, powerful question. These ancient texts are arguing that believing in a peaceful future isn't just wishful thinking. It's a command for how to live in the present. It means that the most powerful way to believe in that future is to start building it. It means picking up the hammer today and instead of forging a sword, choosing to forge a plowshare. It means waking up, putting on that armor of light, and getting to work.